Hey, welcome back. If you've been following along, then you know my name is Leanna Williams. I graduated from the National Theatre School. I'm a theater lover and a storyteller, and I am here to nerd out with you about Shakespeare and the actor's process. This is Call Me Billy. Today is all about action verbing. Now, action verbing is something that I find super helpful because you'll be looking at a piece of text and you'll be like, okay, well, they're angry. I should act angry, right? It's not as easy as it sounds because everyone expresses anger differently. And just trying to act angry can often come across as vague or cliche, and it can lead to a flat performance, and it's just not satisfying. So, how do we break it down? We want something that we can do. We want something concrete as opposed to an abstract idea. So I've included a list of action verbs, a PDF file that you can download and that I use religiously. We're going to be going through our text, it's line by line, sentence by sentence, and giving each one an action. An action like, I demand, I flirt, I suggest, I ask. The list goes on and on and on. You'll see. It's pretty extensive. These concrete words, these concrete actions can help us develop our body language, our facial expressions, our vocal intonation, our rhythm, and this in turn will lead us to a complex emotional state in all of its juicy nuance that humans crave. A couple things to keep in mind. There isn't just one answer. There isn't just one action to be attributed to every sentence. Depending on the story you're trying to tell, you can use different ones because they'll have different effects. And I find that the best way to find the one that feels right, that sounds right, is to say it out loud. Say your verb out loud and then say your line, say your text. And that can often give you a clue. If it sounds right, if it feels right, it's probably right. The other thing to keep in mind is to always apply it to your scene partner. How are you affecting them? What is your action doing to them? This will give you a direction and an objective. You're constantly trying to affect them, and in doing so, you're affecting the audience. It can be easy to go into yourself, to get a little too internal, and you'll be having a great performance and feeling really good about it, but it's just not translating to your scene partner or to the audience. And then all that works for nothing. Let's dive into Portia's monologue and I'll show you what I mean. The first sentence of Portia's monologue is Brutus sick? Pretty simple, 3 little words. Let's consult our list of action verbs, shall we? I complain. Is Brutus sick? Is Brutus sick? I point out, is Brutus sick? I insist, is Brutus sick? I confirm, is Brutus sick? I reflect, is Brutus sick? I vilify, is Brutus sick? I bewitch, is Brutus sick? So these all are giving that one sentence a different color. And they could all work depending on what strategy Portia is using right off the bat. For me, that first question is very simple and very direct. I think she's just asking. She's asking if Brutus is sick. I ask, is Brutus sick? Let's move on to the second sentence. And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the dank morning? So now we're asking, what is Portia trying to do to Brutus with this sentence? I kind of feel like she kind of has a thought already. She's kind of leading him towards something she already knows. I feel like it's almost, she's leading him on. It's almost like a prompt. She's prompting him to answer no, it's probably not smart to be walking around wearing, like, no, nothing and in the cold. I feel like there's almost a hint of condescension or maybe judgment. So I'm going to say I prompt or I judge. I judge. And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the dank morning? That sounds about right. Let's move on. Here we go. Here. It sounds familiar. What? Is Brutus sick? So this is she's asking the same question, but she's not doing it in the same way, because the first time he didn't answer. And she's getting a little annoyed, so I think let's keep it simple again. I think she's repeating. I repeat, is Brutus sick? Or you can insist. Let's consult our list. You can scold. What? Is Brutus sick? Test. What? Is Brutus sick? That might be interesting. She's testing him because she's still waiting on an answer. Taunt. What? Is Brutus sick? Because she knows he's lying. Check. What? Is Brutus sick? Maybe she's more concerned. She's checking to see if he's sick. So lots of these could work. I've just put repeat. I repeat. I like to do simple and direct. I think Portia's pretty direct. She's not necessarily dancing around yet. And I think her strategy with Brutus gets more complex further down. So I like to start off simple and direct and then go from there. The next sentence, and will he steal out of his wholesome bed to dare the vile contagion of the night? Now here, she's leading him again, but I think she's getting a little angrier. I think she's letting some of her emotion show. And she's also revealing that she knows that he was sneaking around and doing things he shouldn't have been doing. So this feels like a confrontation. This feels like she's showing him what she knows so that he can't keep lying to her. So I'm going to say I confront. And will he steal out of his wholesome bed to dare the vile contagion of the night? That's a confrontation. Next. No, my Brutus. You have some sick offense within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. This one's interesting. I think here she's kind of showing her status a bit. She's kind of talking about what she deserves. She's talking about how she sees him struggling. My Brutus. She's still saying it with care. So let's consult our list, shall we? Maybe warn. No, my Brutus. You have some sick offense within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. That's a little menacing, I'd say. Maybe I worry. No, my Brutus, you have some sick offense within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. I worry sounds nice. I like that. But considering what we've done before, we've asked, we've judged, we've repeated, we've confronted. I wonder if now she wants to assert. She wants to assert her right, her place. You have, and she wants to state the facts. You have some sick offense within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. She's asserting. I assert. Okay, and now this is one of my favorite twists in the monologue. And upon my knees, I charm you by my once commended beauty, by all your vows of love and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me yourself, your half, why you are so heavy. Now this has a different color than what we've kind of patchwork together. She's switching strategies here. What is she trying to do to Brutus now? How is she trying to affect him? Because judging and confrontation and assertion didn't work. So I think now she's changing strategies, and I think now maybe she could be seducing him. She's going on her knees, and upon my knees, I beg you, by my once commended beauty, by all our vows of love and that great vow which should incorporate and make us one. She could be seducing, she could be pleading, she is on her knees. She could be pleading by all your vows of love and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me yourself, your half. Why, you are so heavy. That feels right. I like pleading. Next. And what men tonight have had resort to you? For here have been some 6 or 7 who did hide their faces even from darkness. Here she switches again. She comes away from the pleading. She goes back to almost her position of knowledge, what she knows. And I think she knows Brutus is an honorable guy. She knows something's weighing on his conscience. And I think maybe she wants to check in with him. She's like, what men tonight have had resort to you? For here have been some 6 or 7 that did hide their faces even from darkness. Like, what's going on? Let's check our list. Attack. She's not attacking. Urge. Maybe she's urging. And what? Because she really wants to know the answer. And what men tonight have had resort to you? For here have been some 6 or 7 who did hide their faces even from darkness. I like that. Urge. I think she could also be seeking clarification. She wants to know that she's getting it right. And what men tonight have had resort to you? For here have been some 6 or 7 who did hide their faces even from darkness. That works too. I feel like that's a good practice chunk, and I'll leave the last couple sentences for you to figure out. And I want you to take your action sheet, go through a couple, try a few out loud, and settle on the one that feels the best. And I want you to always be thinking, what are you doing to your scene partner? How are you affecting them? And what strategy might work the best? And if that one doesn't work, what's your backup plan? What other strategy might there be? I usually find that action verbing can be a very time-consuming process. I think it takes me a long time just because it really makes you think about what you're doing. You're being super specific with every single sentence, and that can take time. So don't worry if it takes time. I'd also suggest that at this point you start committing your piece to memory. We've done a lot of detailed work. We did a lot of specific zeroed in work. We've also done some bigger picture imaginative work. So I think you'll be surprised at how much is already in there, and how quickly you'll feel like you've got it memorized once you've done it 4, 5, 6 times all the way through, just checking your piece when you need to. Next episode, we're going to be learning how to prepare our bodies. We're getting up on our feet, we're putting down our text, and now we're focusing solely on our instrument, our bodies, and then eventually our voice. And this is an exciting step because we know we're getting closer to performing. Yay! And I hope you've been following along and that you've been finding these exercises and episodes helpful. I can't believe we're already here. So I'm so excited. I will see you so soon.